when we get over this swelled up feeling of feeling good about Obama and now Kamala Harris, there is a simple way to measure what we will get for our votes. Because voting is transactional. That means you get something for it. Mm-hmm. Du Bois did it for us already. He called it the Black Progress Index. What did he do? Du Bois looked at our incarceration rate, our home ownership rate, our educational attainment, redlining and gentrification in our neighborhoods, the crime rate, the black business formation rates. Y'all see where I'm going with this? Mm-hmm. So just mark that down. And then what you do, you look at what the data says before Obama got in office, and then look at what the data says after he got in office. And then that way we will stop talking with this feel good kind of thing. Because that's all we do. We talk good about feeling good, but there's no data to back up the substance of the matter. Now, Du Bois said this, and this is very important. He said you must look at the social data to measure the well-being of the collective Alkebulans. That's meaning Africans, y'all. But that's the native tongue. That's what we called it when we first showed up on that continent. Alkebulans. How do you measure our well-beingness? That's what's important. Not to feel good about somebody being in the White House.
Right.
We need to get past that silly mess if there's no return on the investment. Voting is transactional. And you can't tell me you won't even mention reparations. I don't see it nowhere on the agenda. In other words, that word is negative to some of y'all. It's work done payments. Don't you get paid after you have done the work? It makes sense, right? Mm-hmm. I've done the work, now I get paid. So we need to get paid. And this other oxymoron that we use, I'm a black capitalist. How can you be when your enslavement was a pillar to capitalism? Capitalism needs cheap labor and free labor. And yours was the free labor. And now you say you're a black capitalist? Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. So look up the Black Progress Index. And let's see where we stood before Obama got in office. And let's look at where we stood after he came out of office. And let's go back and do it now. Do it for Kamala. Let's see where we stand before she gets in office. And let's see where we stand afterwards. That's how you measure.
Well, what do you say to those who say, but she was only a VP. They don't have power to do anything or help the situation.
Being the VP launched her right running for the president, so it has to be some power in that. It has to be some power in that.
If not, but influence.
You got a seat at the table. Raise your voice for our concerns. Raise your voice for our concerns. And let's look at the data. Let's look at the data. Now, when they tout the idea that they have been involved with pardoning a lot of people who were incarcerated, primarily us, before the marijuana law took effect, we should have been released before the marijuana law took effect. So some of us are still locked up, even though marijuana is legal. And I applaud Governor Moore for releasing 175,000, primarily us.
Here in Maryland.
In Maryland. And we're only 30% of the population, but we're 70% of those who are incarcerated in Maryland.
Wow.
Yeah, ain't that a wow?
I didn't know
And
that.
so that's what happens when you don't do your homework. The Black Progress Index, home ownership, educational attainment, incarceration rate, redlining, gentrification, black business formation rate. Look at these key indices that affect our well-beingness. And that's how you make a wise and sound decision when it comes to understanding that your vote is transactional and you're supposed to get a return on your investment, no matter what they look like, no matter who's in office.
So what should we be doing then? When you say our vote is transactional,
We should be demanding and holding people accountable
prior to?
prior to.
How do we do that?
You put your agenda together. You say, this is what I want. And when you don't do this, then you will feel my wrath.
That takes unity.
Yes, it does. And that's a word we stopped using. The word black, the two words we stopped using. I used to hear it all the time when I was a kid. The black nation. The black nation. Now I'm hearing out here in Prince George's County, we are the wealthiest, or we are second wealthiest. But we can't even feed and clothe ourselves. But we are the wealthiest. What does that mean? You can't even feed and clothe yourself, and yet, on average, we have more black farmers in the state of Maryland than anywhere else in the continental United States, and we still don't even feed ourselves. We still run the Safeway and Giant, and we got black farmers out here hurting. And we can't put a co-op together where we support the black farmers. Say, bring us your produce. They should be bringing their produce to us. But we run a Safeway and Giant. That's black nationhood. It's just two fundamental principles to it. You feed and clothe yourself. Everyone else does it, but us. We're consumers. And we cloak it, and we play these silly games with ourselves and talk about I'm a black capitalist. Doesn't add up, y'all. It doesn't add up. Our history with voting, Fannie Lou Hamer and them did not put their lives on the line for us to vote to be a Democrat or a Republican. They put their lives on the line for us to use the vote as a tool for our independence. And we have lost sight of that. We never were looking to be an elephant or a donkey, because they both are either a fox or a wolf, like Malcolm told us.
That's right.
They both are canines, and canines will eat you.
It's feel-good politics.
Feel-good politics. Our mission, and if we put this sacred circle around Kamala, this is one time a square should fit in a circle. What do I mean by that? If you put this sacred circle around her, then that black voting block should fit inside that circle, and that black voting block, because it's powerful. You see the swing states.
That's right.
The swing states are where? Wisconsin, Milwaukee. Where's the swing states? Where else? Pennsylvania, Philadelphia. Where's the swing state? Michigan, Detroit. So when you talk about the swing states, the key to those are black cities.
And they know it. That's why they come after our vote so hard.
Our black cities.
They know it.
So we take that same sacred circle and we put it around her, but you take that black voting block, and this is one time the black voting block should fit inside of a circle, and it must be independent. That black voting block should be independent. Stop putting a label on it. That's where we're supposed to have graduated to by now. That's the progression of us. Not continuing to be something that doesn't give us a return on our investment. That was not the trajectory that they put us on. They put us on a trajectory for independence, self-determination.
Progress.
That's real progress.
And you just
for
broke
the black
down.
nation, for the black nation.
Right. And you just broke down a progress report by Du Bois.
Go look up the data. Go look up the data. Use that as to ascertaining whether or not is this candidate for me? Will I get a return on my investment or not? Real simple. I'm done.